Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich with your Tarot Talk Tuesday. Before I go any further, let's see if we can get a quick shot of little Karen. There she is over at the kneeler. That is one of her spots that she likes in here. That, and I have a chair over here that she loves. It's a big, comfy chair, but she loves sitting on that. Yeah, nice little calico kitty. Oh, I think we got a better picture over there. Karen, look here. And of course she doesn't listen. She is a total Karen. If she keeps on making noises and whatnot, I will have to pause and let her out. But hopefully, get down now. Psst. Get down. I'm not even cutting that out because those of you who have cats know the pain. She is one that does not really respect the no tables, no ledges rule. Jelly does fairly well with the no tables, no ledges rule. But anyway, welcome to Tarot Talk Tuesday, where we talk about tarot. We are going through the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, one card at a time. We're going to examine them, and today is the Knight of Swords. Before I go any further, let me get little Karen out of here because she can't behave, or maybe not. If she keeps on doing this, I am going to just let her out. But anyway, before we go any further, some particulars. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe. I believe it's right around here. If you have not hit that like button, go ahead and hit the like button if you like these videos. And if you don't like them, you know what? You can hit the dislike button. It lets me know that you dislike this content. If you do dislike the content, please do let me know by leaving a comment below. If you like it, also leave a comment. If you agree or disagree, leave a comment. All of those can be found down here in the nether regions. So anyway, as per our usual, we're going to plop that on up here because that is the image that we are working with. And we are going to read from the Pictorial Key of the Tarot by A.E. Waite, which reads, "He is riding in full course, as if scattering his enemies. In the design, he is really prototypical, a prototypical hero of romantic chivalry. He might almost be Galahad." Yeah, I don't know that word. "Whose sword is swift and sure because he is clean of heart." Okay, I can agree with the imagery that he sets forth, the examination of the imagery that he puts forth. Let's see how he does on the divinatory meanings. Skill, bravery, capacity, defense, address, enmity, wrath, war, destruction, opposition, resistance, ruin. I don't really agree with those. He goes on here. "There is therefore a sense in which the card signifies death, but it carries this meaning only in its proximity to other cards of fatality. Reverse, imprudence, incapacity, extravagance." Okay. Just so you know, if you have a reading issue, I'm not judging. I don't have a reading issue. It's that the words are really small on my screen on OBS. So, yeah, it's kind of hard for me to read that, and this is the first time I'm looking at it. I really don't agree with his divinatory meanings here, which seems to be a common thing with the Pictorial Key of the Tarot. Myself and A.E. Waite, we just do not see eye to eye on these, along with excuse me, along with many tarot readers out there, I don't think would necessarily agree to A.E. Waite's description here for the divinatory meanings. And I think that's kind of something to look for, or look at whenever you're looking at the way that tarot was meant to be read and the way that it's evolved into what it is now, is that they are not the same, and they have these either subtle difference or drastic differences. And I find it very fascinating to look at the differences between what one of the deck creators, or the one that created the companion to the deck, and basically gave instructions to Pixie of what to kind of draw or paint in this case. I find it fascinating to see A.E. Waite's view and the view of the tarot community today, because I don't think anybody out there is really going with A.E. Waite's perspective, but I do want to continue to look at A.E. Waite's descriptions here and the divinatory meaning that he applied to the tarot, because, you know, this is the companion to the deck. So I find it fascinating to see how tarot has evolved in that aspect. So let's get on into our look at the Knight of Swords. So first things first, we have a lot of motion in this cards. A lot of things are moving in this card, between the background, between the horse, between the rider, the knight himself. We have a lot of motion in these cards. So let's break this down into a couple pieces here. First thing I want to focus on, excuse me, is the background. We see the clouds and the trees of the background. I'm reading off my notes, is why I'm stuttering here. We see the clouds and the trees of the background blowing from left to right. Taking into consideration with the knight and his horse, they are going into the wind. They are going from right to left. They are literally going head first into the wind. This shows that the knight is headstrong. He is driven to succeed. He may be ambitious, but he is also determined. He doesn't stop at anything to meet his goals. He is the knight with most motion and most force. If you actually look at the Knights of Pentacles, of Cups, and Wands, I think the only other one that is really in motion, and I'm going to just bust out the deck here. Give me 1 second. If you look at the other knights, you don't see as much motion in there. In the Knight of Pentacles, we don't have any motion at all. In the Knight of, let me get to it here. In the Knight of Cups, we have a little bit of motion. Looks like they're walking a little. In the Knight of Wands, whoops, passed it up. There we are. In the Knight of Wands, we have probably about a little bit more motion than the Cups. But this is the one that has the most motion shown in it. He is going forcefully into the wind that is blowing against him. And he, by the look on his face and the look on the horse's face, is very determined to get there. And I have a little cat fight going on over here. Again, I might just pause and just let the little girl out, little Karen Marie, if she doesn't learn to behave. But anyway, we have a lot of motion, a lot of headstrongness going into, kind of going into a battle, but we don't really see the battle that he's going into, but nobody rides a horse like that with that much force, with a sword drawn, to not be going into battle. So yeah, we have a lot of things going on here, and uh, with the qualities of this individual, they are very headstrong. They are very determined, very intellectually focused on what they need to do and how they need to win the battle. Looking at the swords. Now, we've been doing this with the swords because I think it's kind of fun. I think my entire theory on the swords is debunked as of now. If anybody can come up with a theory for the other suits in the deck, the wands, pentacles, or the cups, please do let me know, which we're moving on to the wands after we finish the swords here. So do let me know if you have a theory on that. I have not seen anything that really calls out to me as a theme that helps with remembering the cards and remembering the interaction besides the actual visuals that are given. But anyway, we're looking at the swords in the light and shadow of the sword in conjunction with the individual. So we've been having fun looking at this, or at least I've been having fun looking at this, and the light side is actually towards the knight. This can invoke the feeling that the ideas and inspiration are in the knight's favor. So if that helps you remember, fantastic. If it doesn't, throw out everything I just said. But I do like that this one, especially because court cards are difficult as hell. And I think most tarot readers would agree with that, is that court cards are kind of like the bane of existence for learning tarot. But in this situation, you know, he's going into battle, he's very headstrong, and he has this sword drawn, and the shading on the sword is in his, says it's in his favor, that he is favored for being this headstrong individual. Next thing I want to look at is, and I found this fascinating, and I want to look at the other ones before I go too far down this rabbit hole. But, yeah, the Pentacles has it. Let's see, Cups have it. Cups. Where's Knight of Cups? I just had them all out. Okay. And Wands have... Okay, they all have them, but we're going to be looking at this one in particular, and we'll come up with a different pneumatic, yeah, I think I'm using that correctly. We're going to use a different device for the other ones as well, but for this one, I kind of centralized focus on the helmet. The helmet is open. He is actively going into battle, which the other ones do not appear to be. But he looks like he's actively going into battle, but he has the visor up. Now, if you were in armor and you were wearing a helmet that was supposed to protect not only your head, but also your eyes, you would think that a skilled knight would bring that visor down, and that he would go into this battle with the visor down and face protected and whatnot. But he did not do that. Now, him supposedly being a skilled knight, and being very methodical and very intellectually focused, you think he would think to put the visor down before he goes into battle. But he's not really worried about that. It's not there for protection, for his protection when it comes to his face. He is confident that he has chosen to keep it open. That's how confident he is. He's so confident that he's kept the visor open, that he is keeping his eyes on the prize, to the extent that he won't even put the visor down to focus on, to go into this battle. He's not at all worried about whether or not he's going to lose this battle, because he knows that it's all in his favor. So he has thrown all caution to the wind and left the visor up going into battle. So I found that interesting, and I kind of focused on that whenever I was researching this card and whatnot. I'm like, oh, that's funny a little bit. That's kind of telling of the character of the individuals. The other ones are not going into battle, from what it appears in the quick glance. They don't look like they're going into battle, certainly not like this one. So it would make sense for them to have their visors up. But this one, he's actively going into battle, and he kept the visor up. And I think that's important to note. So, now I want to look at this in reverse. If I can pull that up here. Actually, before we go into that, we'll go into reverse first. Okay. So in reverse, this might mean that you aren't channeling your energy effectively. Remember, the Knight of Swords is all about, going into it. It's about achieving your goals and being intellectually focused if you're going to be like the Knight. Which, you know what? Let me go ahead and do that. Let me pull that up. Upright meaning, this is my meaning, along with other tarot readers that I have used in this research. If you have this Knight come up, he is telling you to be assertive. If you have an idea or something to say, make your voice heard. Don't be silenced by someone telling you that your idea is not worth it. You are worth it. You need to go into this battle head first and be determined to get your outcome. And I think that he kind of personifies this very well in this card. Coming up in reverse, let me pull that one back up because, well, I'm just ill-prepared today. Coming up in reverse might mean that you aren't channeling your energy effectively. You may be all over the place. Gather your thoughts, organize, and turn that Knight around. So by this I mean, if you're, little story time here. If you're like me, there are times whenever you have 1,000 different projects going on all at once. And it's hard to focus on one thing here, one thing there. So really your energy is kind of being split up between all of them. And you can't do everything. And that's one thing that I think the Knight of Swords in reverse is telling us. You can't do everything. And it's about gather your energy, reorganize or reassert your dominance in one area. And then go and conquer that. If you have the Knight in the upright, then you know what? You're going headstrong into something. And whatever somebody else tells you, against what you're doing, don't freaking listen to them. Because in the end, you need to have this confidence. You need to have this focus of, I'm going to win no matter what. And if you have a project that you're starting, might I suggest using the Ace of Swords, which is about starting and having a gift given to you of an idea or inspiration, putting that one up and doing some tarot spell work, putting that up, and then putting this card, the Knight of Swords, putting that up next to it as your motion card. So it's really taking those motions from the ace into your project. And then at the very end, have something like the, the 10 of Pentacles, where it's the, what I would like to call the payment card. No, it's not the 10 of Pentacles, it's 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, and having that as the payment card. Ten of Pentacles would work too. That's the everything's fine, everything's good. That's that card. Everything's comfortable. But the Nine of Pentacles to me is like the reaping what you sow, but in a good way. So having that next to the Knight of Swords, but or maybe even above them, work with the placement, work with how you want to put them in there, and pour your intention into the Ace as inspiration, the Knight as a force or a focus of heading towards your goal, and the Nine of Pentacles as your achieved goal, envisioning that. So that might be some terror spell work for you to do, particularly with this card being a central focus, quite literally, to how to achieve those goals, knowing that you are going to achieve them, having that confidence. We talked this past week about the solar plexus chakra, and how, gaining that confidence and knowing that you're powerful and whatnot. And this one kind of embodies that. So I kind of like how they went hand in hand together. We talked about that last week. So I like how these are kind of finding themselves. I think that's kind of fun how fate works like that. So anyway, a little bit of a shorter video for the amount of things that we covered. A lot of it was taken up by kitties, and now that both cats have settled down and behaved, of course the video is coming to an end. So anyway, join me tomorrow for Witchy Wednesday. We are covering the heart chakra. And then join me on Table Talk Thursdays for a nice little table talk from our table topics cube. Yeah, we had kind of a deep discussion on how do you decide right from wrong last week. That was kind of an emotional roller coaster. And I'm a little anxious to see what this week will bring, because I have not looked at them yet. And then join me on Saturday when we are discussing chapter 17 of our Witchy Book Club series, The Inner Temple of Witchcraft. And we are also going to close out that book. So, yes, if you have not joined us for that, go ahead and start the journey from the beginning, as this one is coming to an end, and let me know in the comments of which book you want to do next. Should we go to Outer Temple of Witchcraft or Modern Magic by Daniel Michael Craig? I believe it's Daniel, or is it Donald? I can't remember now. Anyway, it's called Modern Magic. It is a good book, but let me know which one you want to do, and we will go with that one. So far, it's 2-0 to the Outer Temple, so we might just be doing that. If you have any suggestions otherwise, do let me know by leaving a comment below. And until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.